Double aroused.
Voices Be a Voice. I'm Tamika Vukovic, co-executive director of organizational empowerment, and we have
Brian Sanders, lead organizer for Wisconsin Voices. Happy Friday, Milwaukee.
we got a kind of skeleton crew today
Yeah.
because our gala is tonight. Tonight. Don't you
Everybody
have
running
some
around.
effects that be like, "Woo, yeah, tonight"? No.
I usually sing it.
Okay, sing it.
I can't.
Oh, he can't sing today. He acting for us today. He tired. He look like he tired.
Oh, I'm not tired. I'm sick, baby.
Oh, so y'all gonna have to put some prayers up there for Mr. Keon. He needs some prayers. Today we have a couple of candidates who are on the ballot for the 19th. We'll get to that in a minute. But we last call for our gala. We probably have maybe 10 tickets left, 10, 15 tickets left, but it's a great event. It is at the Bavarian Beer House, 700 West Lexington in Glendale. You can go on the website, Wisconsin Voices website, and get your tickets. It might be sold out, it might not, but go in there and do that. We have an exciting show today. We have two candidates, but before we get into the candidates, we want to remind people. What do we want to remind them, Brian, as you take a sip of water?
Get out and vote. Early voting is going on right now. Go on ahead. Right? Still
Yes.
going on.
Yeah, and
Locations?
yeah, tell them the locations.
All right, City of Milwaukee voting locations. Do we got the voting locations?
Yeah,
on this
and
side?
where it is this
Yeah, we got the Zeiler Municipal Building, 841 North Broadway, Capitol Drive Voting Center, 60th Street and West Capitol. It's a Block E Library, 3501 West Oklahoma. And that was weekdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So please get out there. Also, we have Good Hope Library, 7717 West Good Hope Road, and Tippecanoe Library. I've never heard of that library before. That is on 3912 South Howe Ave. And then, of course, Washington Park Library. Everybody sees that one on their ride on Sherman, 2121 North Sherman Boulevard. Again, that's 2121 North Sherman Boulevard for Washington Park Library.
and these are for City of Milwaukee, you have until tomorrow, and then you have to wait until Election Day, which is Tuesday, February 20th. Get out there and vote. Well, as we talking about our get out and vote, we have a candidate for the 7th aldermanic district, previously held or is held currently by Khalif Rainey, but he has decided to step down. So there is a primary for that. And we have Mr. Randy Jones. Hello, Mr. Jones. How are you?
I'm
Wait,
great.
we're going to do this.
With the sound effects. Okay.
Mr. Jones, how are you today?
I'm great today. Thanks for having me.
Well, we're going to start off with how are you? Who are you? I mean, because our whole purpose is to let people kind of know who you are, and then we'll get into some questions. Some people may call, but we really want to just get to know who you are.
Okay. Well, again, I'm Randy Jones, born and raised in Milwaukee. Been living in the 7th district for pretty much off and on all my life, but I purchased my house for going on 12 years now. As far as what I do, I wear a number of hats. Presently, I work at the Boys and Girls Club. I've been doing that for over 17 years now. I work in a couple other community organizations. People may have heard of Common Ground, so I do a lot of work team with them. I pass leadership roles. I've been president and vice president of USA Track and Field Wisconsin. So that's my leadership skills. I'm a realtor. I'm a licensed handyman. I have a handyman business. I'm a nonprofit founder. It's called Stand on Track. Basically focus on mental health, foster care, home ownership, and a number of things like that. So in a nutshell, that's kind of me, and just somebody that's in the community organized and wants to see the 7th district do better.
So I ask every single candidate this: what does an alderman do?
Oh, that's a good question because a lot of people don't know. So first of all, not in certain order, but we approved the mayor's budget, the city budget, we approve the mayor's cabinet. So everybody that the mayor appoints, that their approval. Of course, we make policy, legislation. Uh, we also decide the tax levy. If somebody loses a property, where's that tax money going? We also, the main part of what our person does will be the administration of the district. And for people to understand that, that's the trash collection, things like that, that you need, that you're paying your taxes for on a regular basis, that your alderman has the decision or to make sure that stuff is done. So they serve you.
So you're the representative for your district.
That's correct. Yep.
I asked that because so many people come on here, and that's the first question I ask. And Keon kind of give us a look sometimes, because some of the answers they don't know what they do. They don't know the job that they're seeking.
Right.
And that is, it's not a trick question. I usually tell everybody that's what I'm going to ask, and then you decide who's going to go and look it up.
Right.
And who's going to just try to wing it and don't know what it is.
Yeah.
So,
well, my experience comes from, I did run for office in 2016. Since then, I was appointed to the Safety and Civic Commission for the city of Milwaukee. So I'm a commissioner on that commission. And that taught me a lot of city government experience. And I understand what you're saying, because 2016, my heart was there. I wanted to do it, but technically, I would have been a sitting duck down there. It would have taken me a long time to learn the system. So that's why I took it upon myself. The appointment came 7.5 years. Yes, I know how it goes now. It's more detailed than people think it is. You know, candidates and even myself, I try not to make promises what's going to happen, because I know when I'm down there, I can promise you I'm going to do safety, but people not knowing that it's got to go through a committee before it even gets to the floor. And I also have to get 8 other votes to make it even pass. So my day-to-day things I know I can do for sure day one, I tell people promises, being in communication with you and making sure the administration of the district is taken care of. I did it every single day with nobody handcuffed me at it.
I love that comment, and I'm not as an alder person, there's 2 things that I always said, and these are my campaign promises, that I will call you back within 24 or 48 hours, depending on if it's a weekend.
Right.
And I will never, ever, ever tell anybody how I'm going to vote until I actually vote.
Right.
Because there's so many things that go into a vote, and I will never be called a liar on a vote.
Right.
And some people get mad. Well, how are you doing? Well, I don't tell people how I'm going to vote because I might get there. So that is a key, because I'm representing what I feel is you have to go in there saying that you're representing the people that you serve. Sometimes it's a 50-50 split, but that's why they elect you,
right,
to say, okay, if you don't have a majority kind of thinking this way, I'm putting my faith in you that you will make the right decision.
Correct.
Yeah. On the other hand, sometimes there's decisions that I know my constituents want. I think it's a bad idea. It's not going to, be the detriment of them or, cause them. So I'll be like, okay, and so sometimes it goes against what I would want, but
yeah, because you're privy to more information they are. And that's what people don't realize, that sitting downtown, a lot more things like, okay, it sounds good on the outside, but when you get the information, this is not good for the district.
What are your like, everybody has these 3 things, but what do you really want to work on? What are some of the things that you feel like you can improve or you can do as an alder person that hasn't been done before, or that any of your opponents?
Well, I'm still living off my platform in 2016. And the one thing is, I believe in not only the district of the 7th district, but even the city of Milwaukee. We need to go back to build relationships. A lot of things doesn't work because we don't have a relationship with each other. We know each other, but if we sit down and meet with each other, we find out we really want the same things. Now, how do we go about doing that? So for sure, I always wanted to make sure our block captains would be my committee, almost like commission, I would meet with once a month. Not even the block captains, but even meet with our youth once a month to see what they want, see their needs are. So that in terms of building a relationship, bring us close together. Also putting the substation in the 7th district, so our residents won't have to go downtown. We're looking at Center Street or Burleigh. I I just believe once a substation is there, you get other businesses want to come there. So we can bring back with Center Street or Burleigh Street, either ward. Once they know, then it costs to go downtown. So we got seniors. It's hard to get downtown. If I go downtown, you got to pay.
For people who don't know,
Mm-hmm.
what is this substation?
A substation would be more of a resource station. I hear a lot from my my opponents saying, well, we need to do this and do this. In reality, the city already has that. Some people just don't know about it. So we need a better job of bringing information out. So that resource center, the commissions meet with the block watch captains to spread the information down to the resident. Like you speak to a lot of people, our seniors that need help with their properties. There's a lot of tip grants out there, neighborhood improvement grants that they can apply for, but they don't know about it.
How do you get that information? I mean, even in the sense of you having a substation, like, why isn't this information being given out now?
That's a good question. I can't tell you that. I think people, sometimes we move too fast. And I know on the commission, we move so fast that we figured, okay, this is a good idea, but if the people don't know about it, then it's really not a good idea. It just sits. And then so that's where we come like, well, we need this, or we need, even when it's come out to help. I mean, Milwaukee is a good city that when people are in need, people reach out. But that need comes because information is dispersed.
If you have any questions for Mr. Randy Jones, 414-444-5250. You work with a lot of youth. You were telling me what you were doing this weekend.
We're going skiing. So we're taking, this is our 4th weekend.
Black people ski?
And we're the only one on the hills, and we're in Wilmot, Wisconsin. So we're the only one on that hill, but the kids love it. It was one of those programs where like, I don't think they're going to keep going.
Huh?
I didn't think they were going to keep going every week because we go every week, and they're begging to come back next year. By the 2nd week, they were skiing down the hill by themselves.
Oh, so they
even
learned.
Someone was on the ski lift, and I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that, but good.
Yeah, get up on them ski lifts in the river.
Yeah, so things like that, and I think, and the kids are so important to me. I grew up in foster care, so I understand that if we don't reach out to our kids and save our kids, because for once, and I was on a different show and I had to explain to people, they're kids. And we only talk about our 1% kids that's in trouble. We have 99% of the kids that want to do well, but there's no opportunity for them to do well. In the city of Milwaukee, there's no movie theaters, no bowling alley for our kids to do. But we have a whole Bucks arena for our kids. So we invest in our adults. But what are we really doing to invest in our kids? When we grew up, we had the Palace. We had things to do to keep us busy.
I always talk about that when my high school job was I worked as a movie theater vendette. That's what you used to call it. And I remember we had Northridge, I worked at Northtown. We had Northridge, Northtown, Mill Road, the Budget Theater on Good Hope. Then you go down the street, you had Mill Road one, Capitol Court, Grand Avenue, and then let's see, Prospect.
Don't forget the bowling alley on 76 and Floors.
And then the bowling alley. Then we had like the Palace, but the Palace turned into Soccer USA. By the way, that's where I met my husband.
Is that your district?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's actually City of Milwaukee, not Glendale. So that corner. There's also, what else did they have? I remember, and I'm 52, but we used to, where there was a place called the Attic West, where you could go 16, 18 years old and go to a dance club. I think there was another one called Bailey's.
Video game arcades we had.
Yeah. We had Johnson Park where you used to go kart. There was, and it started to phase out when I was in my teens, but we had all these things, and that is one thing that I always find astonishing, that even the Boys and Girls Club closes at 5 or 6 o'clock. And then you expect, where are these kids supposed to go hang out? Kick it. They're in the street. And then you want to run them out of the parks because they don't have the permit for amplified sound, because they have their Bluetooth there. And then they get ran out for that. Then they're walking the street. Idle Minds is...
And they take the courts down and put tennis courts up.
Yeah.
So they can't play basketball. So, I mean, like you said, what do you expect? They're kids. So they're going to do kid things. I mean, we were kids. I mean, I was jumping off roofs. How great.
Yeah.
That's not something you should do.
Well, us
But
Gen
I didn't
Xers,
have
we
the-
do a lot of
yeah.
stuff we
Yeah.
ain't
I
supposed
didn't have that
to do.
direction. So imagine our kids now in a direction with all the information they have that we didn't have. How easy it's like we're bored. So let's look at these Kia videos. Let's go sit a car. I had a kid walking. I talked the other day, had an ankle bracelet on. Why? Because he was bored. Coach, I was bored.
I had a question for you, just
Mhm.
segueing into you. So speaking about, how more maybe more accessibility for activities in the district, what were some things that you would see that you would like to, kind of like kind of vouch for, trying to get going in your area as far as would it be any type of activity centers that you would like to see develop or anything like that? Because I see it's, like you said, it's idle minds in that area.
Mhm.
And we would love to, I know you would love to, keep them busy as possible. So what would be some like, we're not giving away too much of your strategy, but what were some things that you would like to see or get some assistance with in that area?
Well, right now, I understand I have become an old head with the kids.
The Gen X is old
Right.
heads now. Oh,
Right.
man.
So I become an old head.
Look,
So
we gotta
what
talk
that
about
means
Oh,
is
I'm
that
not an old head. Wait a minute. Talk
The
for
Gen
yourself.
X's-
I'm a Gen
when you
X,
sitting there trying to
but
figure out what they're talking about, like, what does that mean?
I don't catch everything.
Or
I'm a
even, what
millennial.
does that text language
Millennial.
mean? So things like that.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to have those kids come together and meet and let them know they do have a voice.
Yeah.
They have a big voice. Because reality is that in 20 years, we don't get together. They're running the city of Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And we're sitting in wheelchairs, sitting at that window to my, oh, look what's going on. But we didn't give them the tools they needed to get it done. So, I would speak those, have those group sections, speak with them, see what they want, then reach out to funders. This is what the kids want. And oftentimes we're so stuck on, and it's not a bad thing, education, education, education. Psych 101 tells us kids learn more through play. So if we're taking away the play part, because what the biggest problem they have now, they don't have any social skills.
Yeah, it's big.
So, and social skills are developed by play.
Yeah.
Kids play, they learn, okay, they learn, I want this toy, I want that toy, and they learn to work it out. They don't learn to, I'm going to take this toy and hit you inside your head with it. And that's what our kids do. So I just think, we need to have places for our kids just to come vent, even if they just come sit. But they're sitting there, guess what? We know they're out of trouble. And once we have them there, we can teach them anything we want to. Because kids love knowledge. I was just speaking of talking to our kids about the Willie Lynch letter. I didn't know how it was going to go off, but by the time I got done, I had kids gathered around the computer. Oh, what's this about, coach? Let's not say the N-word anymore, coach. Is this why? Yeah, this is why. Oh, I'm not saying that. So they just haven't exposed opportunities at their level. So don't pull them where we at. We have to go meet them where they're at.
All right. Thank you.
it's so we're gonna go back a little bit back to your
Mhm.
campaign. You said this is your second time running. You ran it, you said in 16.
Yes.
And then now you're running in an open, and I think that was an open seat then
Yeah.
as well.
Yep. Willie Wade
Um,
stepped down.
And then
I had heavy hitters in that race.
I think, yeah, I was I
Michael
worked,
Bonds. It was Khalif had came down, and our president, county exec, DC.
I
and the
know,
Vivian
because I
Red,
was
yeah.
his campaign manager for a while now.
That's where you
So
look.
that
Okay.
was definitely 16 was
Mhm.
it was definitely everybody kind of just like after what happened in what the presidential was forming into, people really wanted to make a difference and make a change. So
Mhm.
it was it was a good time, and I loved 16 in the sense of it was so engaging. People were out there trying to register people to vote at the time or get registered, and people were actually knocking doors. Are you knocking doors?
I am knocking doors. I was freezing yesterday knocking doors. This is my only day off today because of the ski trip, but I will be back on doors tomorrow, Sunday after church, Monday, and election day. So next 4 days. Weather permit, if it doesn't rain or snow, I will be there. But
what you mean, rain or snow? I think I was in a blizzard knocking doors. That's what raincoats are for. That's what boots are for.
Oh, I have my electric
just
socks
messing.
on. I have my electric vest on, but I'm usually leave a note and they like, okay, now it's getting chicken strap. Now I just have to drop it.
What is some of the other the issues? Because you talked about youth, and that was one thing. But what are your other like issues you really want to just try. You can't change them and you
Mhm.
can't, fix them by yourself, but what is a concern of yours, or what do you want to uplift?
Mhm.
Because everything is not all bad in every area.
Exactly.
Sometimes you find stuff that, you know what, this is going good. Maybe I want to add more resources to this or do something. So everything is not bad.
Mhm.
Are you going to keep up with Alderman Rainey's hip hop week? Because that is one of the biggest things in that 7th district. And,
Right.
And that's youth related and
Mhm.
oriented. I'm just.
Yeah, I mean, I think I talked to a lot of people about it, and a lot of people didn't understand it, and that tells me those are people that wasn't involved in what he was trying to do. I believe the hip hop week, the hip hop was a carrot to what the workshops was about, and people didn't understand that, the financial workshops and like that. So I would be very interested in looking into that details. Like I said, I'm not detailed about it because that was his baby, but things like that, I think we just need to bring the district back together and people together. And like I said, go back to that same interest. But I would actually, one of my projects is housing. Housing is always an issue. As a licensed realtor and as a 7th district back in 2016, we had all the boarded houses. Uh, it doesn't, it breaks a neighborhood down, especially working with absentee landlords. I would propose right away, if you're an out-of-state investor, you should have extra tax if you buy a home in Milwaukee.
Mhm.
And that'll take care of your negligence that if you're not taking care of your property. So that tax money is set aside. I mean, we pay out-of-state tuition, we go to different school. So if you're an investor and people come to Milwaukee just because it's cheaper, we can still tax and it'll still be cheaper. And we'll have funds. And then at the same time, some of those funds can go into our seniors that are kind of getting priced out of their houses, because when I fix my house up next door, I know it affects my neighbor Pete that's 81. That he's not able to fix his house up. He's on the fixed income. So some of those fundings can go to help him out to make his minor repairs, because what happens is that, and as a handyman, it can be small, but if you let it go, that $20 fix just turned into $200 fix.
So you'd have to, for a new tax, you'd have to work with the state.
Right. Yeah. So
But
there's something that, right.
it's
Now, those things that you said that I may not can do, but
Mhm.
I would bring my agenda.
If you have a question, 414-444-5250. We are on with Randy Jones. He is running in the Aldermanic District number 7. Election is on Tuesday. We'll be here talking to some more candidates on Tuesday and just kind of getting the feel. How's your family holding up with this running? Because that's one of the things that
it changes your life. I mean, people that runs off, like I said, I admire all my opponents, everybody else running different districts. It changes you. I mean, it's stressful. Every time you try to decompress, you don't decompress. But family's important. They doing as much as they can. I also tell people that, understand that they still have jobs too. So I can't expect them to, like me, take off and say, hey, I'm gonna do your campaign for you. But emotional support, I tell them what means the most, and just the word of mouth is spreading out. So they're holding up fine. My daughter checks them out. You okay, Dad? I'm like, yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Well, we are going to we have what we're trying to do with Wisconsin Voices is talk about these partners, but also bring the candidates in so people can know. If you go through the primary, we'll be asking you to come on, and then that's when we're going to ask the people to give us questions.
Okay.
And to more deep dive into what the policies are. This is kind of, and I told everybody, we're gonna be nice to you this time. And when it really comes in after the primary, that's when you got to get to know, is this, which person is right for us. So we'll be calling people in and inviting them in to come and converse with us again. But we're gonna get some questions and comments and things that those district people want to know. We'll be asking those questions.
Okay. Yeah, that's good, because I tell people I'm a double-edged sword, because if I don't go through, I have to find somebody to still represent me too. So
all right,
I'm out educating the voters. You got to be educated, because I need to know too.
Well, this is WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM.
They wanted a little trap music at first. They wanted 808s and basses. And
Oh, that's what you're
Oh,
talking
no,
about.
we
that's
was
what
doing
that's what
that.
Tamika was thinking at first. She was
I
trying to go
was.
real tough on it. We was gonna
I
be really
was.
on some Atkinson and Capital flow.
That's what we were gonna do, but
Yeah,
you know,
I turned,
they kind of wussed out.
just in case y'all wonder what we talking about, I turned the speakers up and I heard a doo 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 doo. I said, "Whoa!" I've never turned it up that loud before.
Yeah.
We are gonna tell one more time. We are having our gala.
Oh yeah, we are
Um,
having our gala in Glendale tonight, 5 p.m. Bavarian Beer House. It will be in Glendale, off Port Washington, west of Port Washington. It'll be a great night. We'll have food. We're gonna have auction going down.
Let's talk about our auction items because that was Brian was in charge of that. And Brian,
Yeah.
I'm proud of
Yeah,
him.
well, you trying to get me down there? You trying to
Yeah,
auction me out?
We do not talk
not
about.
finna do
We
that.
are in Black
Coming up, we
History
have-
Month. Wait, we are in Black History
You are
Month.
so funny.
We do not
That's not a good
auction
joke.
people. This is
Not
not a
any
good
month of the
joke,
That's what you
and it's
talking about.
never a good
I'm not
joke
about the
to
date night
auction.
auction.
We don't want to do that
It
either.
could be more like
I mean,
a dating
listen, if
auction.
that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, I've been to one of those back in the day, back in 2010.
Okay, we are gonna talk about our gala.
All right.
What else do we have?
Well, for the gala, we do have some items from the Admirals. Shout out to the Admirals for looking out for us. Went down there and got some nice hats and some glasses and things like that. So come check those out. Bit on out. Outside of that, we have a fitness individual name, and shout out to him as well, Mr. Reginald York. Reggie York. He has a aesthetics wellness is the name of his fitness, and he has decided to donate some of his time. So if you're interested in checking that out in the auction as well, he is getting young women and young men in Milwaukee back in shape, and it's beautiful because we know how easy it is to run into some chicken wings and some hookah in this city and some liquor. So getting back in shape and make sure that heart is nice and strong. Check out Aesthetic Wellness. Outside of that, we have Tranquil Wine. That is a young lady named Shantaria. She is from Milwaukee, currently is handling business in the Kenosha area, and she was able to donate some wine to us as well. So shout out to Tranquil Wine. And we have some distillery items that the wonderful Nicole was able to grab as well. So shout out to Nicole for handling that and the other items she got. Oh, Marjan Beauchamp, Milwaukee Bucks. We did get a Milwaukee Bucks basketball. Come and get that because Marjan is definitely not going to be on the scene for hopefully not on the scene for a short time. We want to make sure this guy gets all the clock and skills he can while he's in Milwaukee. Hopefully they don't ship him off. And besides that, I think we have a few other items just associated with a graphic designer. So come check it out. We got some cool stuff and some other wine related items that we were able to secure. I think it'll be a nice time. And I think the last part, Tamika, you like to talk about that wonderful art that you have.
We had a very generous donor donate a few pieces of art by an artist by the name of Bill Ross.
A few pieces.
It's a few.
A few.
And they
But-
nice pieces.
Times
too.
what, 5? Few.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Well, it's a few.
And
Y'all,
then-
why y'all all in my business? We don't need to let
Man,
everybody
we
know
looking
what
like
we
a-
got.
And they beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
But this artist was he had started to make a name for himself in the 80s and early 90s with beautiful art, especially like some of the art is form of African American women, accentuating the best parts of them, and depending on what he thought was beautiful at that particular time. He had done murals, big, huge commission murals for the city of Chicago as well as LA. Did a lot of artwork in New York as well. Unfortunately, this brother passed away, but his artwork still lives. We are auctioning off some of his artwork. Just want to put it out there because he worked hard to he was a starving artist, but he was also brilliant in some of the work he did and the designs and the colors. And we have some textures paintings that just are amazing. We have them all sitting in our office. So if you ever want to walk through, but we're going to be,
Taste and tapestry.
oh yeah, we cultured.
Yeah.
We trying to be cultured, but I mean, just amazing, beautiful work. But we have 4 or 5 of his pieces that will be up for auction during this time, and then we'll have an auction or a gallery night later on in the summer to really just emphasize the importance of this man's work. But so 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock, Bavarian Beer House tonight. This is the night, and we're almost booked up, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. We have stuff we're giving away. We're gonna have 50-50 raffle. Our Chi Vang, who is our communications person, he's come up with another fun fundraising game. So we're gonna have a lot of fun doing this. Giving some great awards away. We're gonna give an award to individuals from our organization who protect democracy, who build community up, and who teach advocacy. And then we have a special award that we give to our community hero. And that's somebody who may or may not be recognized in the community, but we feel like as a partner of ours or a person that works with us, they just solidify the love for the city of Milwaukee. So 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock, come on over. Some people can pay at the door, but if you wait and pay at the door, don't be upset if we are booked, we full, and you're gonna be like, "Oh, there's a party going on, and y'all can't come in because we gave y'all plenty of time."
Right, and that's
And
one more time. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
Go
off.
ahead.
I just want to say, like Milwaukee. A lot of us we get caught in our own little patterns. Yeah, I go to the same spots, we do the same restaurants, etc. Come out, come support something that is new. It's a great time. You never really know who's in there, who have job and working opportunities, and the best time to get exposure is coming out and getting out of your comfort zone. This is how you become great. I've been being pushed by Tamika and everybody else that she, has me, work with or, partner with on certain topics. It's being out my comfort zone. And I'm always, and that's the way you get better at things in life, is just stepping into new areas. So, and it's been something that I think that everybody should practice in this city. Check out some of the stuff in the community. If you don't want to come to Wisconsin Voices event tonight, come to an event in the future. But, if you're free, like she said, we got 10, we said 10, 15.
Well, we got a few more. We working on it. Y'all can come up in there. Just don't be mad if we locked out. That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, just come out.
We are doing it. We're giving some t-shirts away. First 50 people that are there getting this wonderful little what is that called? Lunch bag.
Lunch bag,
yeah. But Nicole kind of covered in those things. We couldn't even smell them. She's like, these are for my people.
Yeah, she got them locked down and they lined up really nice.
They're nice. So, and we got plenty of t-shirts for people. So please come out.
That's the Bavarian Inn, right?
Bavarian Inn.
It's Friday, fish fry tonight.
Fish fry. We didn't even introduce our next. He's so excited about our
fundraiser.
Our fundraiser. Let's just talk about let's go back to the elections again. First, I'm going to say again, early voting. It is tonight till 5 o'clock. And then on the weekend from 10 to 12 in certain areas, and I'll give you those. And then 10 to 2 on Saturday and Sundays. So the one today, Zeiler Building, Capitol Drive Voting Center, Zablocki Library, those are open until 5 today. And Saturday, which is tomorrow, they'll be open 10 to 2. And then Good Hope Library, Tippecanoe Library and Washington Park Library are open to 5 today from 12 to 5, and then tomorrow from 10 to 2. Who we got, Brian?
Well, who we got in the building today is Mr. Marty Hagedorn. Did I say your last name right, sir? I wanted to get it right. I don't want to be out here slaughtering.
My students call me Mr. Marty.
Mr. Marty.
Apparently on the ballot, I'm John Marty Hagedorn. Mr. Marty Hagedorn, that's mine too.
Absolutely. So before we even get into it and with the wonderful questions Miss Tamika has over here, I just want to shout you out, man. You really represent the city for real with the tats, man. I'm over here just peeping the left arm and I see the little skyline. And
this is one of my students. He graduated last year from Brown Deer High School. This is his clothing label, King Boss.
King Boss.
Yeah. Definitely doing his thing with that right now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You supporting the youth. And is he out here still doing the clothing line?
Most definitely. Apparently, he came in to speak to one of our financial literacy and business classes with a few people from his team because they're like he's making millions of
Yeah.
dollars right now with this clothing label. So traveling all over the country.
Shout out to the youth in the city, King Boss.
So
All right.
let's
There
yeah.
You know, before y'all get into the political aspect, because I can't vote for him because he's not running in my district, in my area. So I got to give a testimony. You said supporting the youth. He's been supporting the youth for a long time. So I just want to give my experience. Marty, if you all listen to the Man Show, you know, before COVID, he was bringing the youth in with Youth Rising Up, and we were doing a lot of the intergenerational conversations, and he's always been a voice for our youth. And I met Marty years ago working with Running Rebels. So he's got a history. A lot of folks have partnered with him. He's worked with a lot of our grassroots organizers here that do youth work. So I just wanted to make sure I said that to folks. And you know, when he told me what area he was running for, you know, I was like, yeah, because that's the area that, you know, they've been pushing up tours and blocking us off, taking the bus lines and stuff, and our youth. You know, that's Chantia Lewis's old district.
That's right.
That
By
but
North
he's
Ridge
running,
and stuff.
Yeah.
That around the northwestern corner of the county. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, that's
I went hard for Chantia Lewis when she was running for that office because the alder person before her was just non-existent and not doing much, and things were just steadily declining, actually rapidly declining and decaying.
And
so
you,
she brought some energy into that district for
and
sure.
You go hard for the youth. That's my main piece. Our youth. I just want folks to know that, and he does do some things with them on a radio program itself on another way.
Appreciate that. Gratitude. Thank you.
So, first of all, can you, for people who don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the politics of it all? Who is Marty? John Marty. Because I wanted people, we use the name that's on the ballot, because if they go and they start looking at the first name and they'll be like, I don't see no Marty, you know. So I want to make sure that if they like you, they have the name that they're supposed to be looking at for.
Thank you.
So go ahead and tell us what you all about and who you are.
Yeah. So Marty, I'm my dad first. I've got 4 children. One of them's about to graduate from Rufus King High School right now, which is pretty cool because that's like full circle. I graduated from Rufus King. He spent most of his years, middle school and high school years at MSL, and tried to get him into Brown Deer this year. That didn't work out too well, but he's in the perfect spot with his girlfriend and best friend, and his former principal is now the principal at King. Shout out to Miss Badillo, who was my Spanish teacher. So there's just all that great connection right there. He's about to graduate. And I have 3 little girls under the age of 9 that keep me busy most of the time. And when they're not with me, I'm in campaign mode right now. So that's just what I've been busy doing. I teach at Brown Deer High School.
What do you teach?
I teach construction, advanced construction, metal fabrication, and wood shop.
So some of those skilled trades that people want to throw out, but they are in high demand.
We need those.
Don't throw them out. Don't throw them out. Like my son and I, when he was 14, I think, we like during the COVID years, we started up our own LLC, which was just like a handyman business. And we started this journey together because I was already in tech ed, teaching at Barack Obama School of Tech and Trade, but more so like doing the Project Lead the Way instruction and not so much in the shop with the kids. Whenever I could, I would be. But, you know, so my son and I started this like handyman business, and we were working for family and friends and just doing small jobs that led to larger jobs, that much larger jobs. And today, even today, like all my years at Brown Deer, whatever I do on the side, I bring into the classroom, and I show them pictures and video, and we talk about, you know, this bathroom that we just remodeled, and, you know, how much we estimated the material costs and how much we bid for, and, you know, and how long it took, and then we're gonna go do it in the shop.
Like that, because you really I don't remember any of my teachers who had the side businesses showing us how to break the game down back in school. And I went to a pretty good high school. I would say Nicolay is a pretty good high school. I just don't remember the breakdown of like, hey man, I went and did this photography contract on the weekend and this is how I made the money. But yeah, that right
I didn't go to school to be a teacher like that. There was workarounds that actually Act 10 allowed for me to obtain my teacher's license, and that was with experience based. And my experience in Madison, working for, or actually Lake Mills, working for the city manager there and working along, all the city happenings, the Department of Public Works, planning, all that in addition to, I don't know, other experience that I've finessed on that application, like allowed me to get into the Milwaukee Public Schools as a tech ed teacher.
Okay.
But yeah, why I've got nothing to hide from these kids. I wear it all on my sleeve. I want them to know, like, hey, you can start your own business at 14, 15, like my son did, with the right mentorship, with the right guidance. And you can make buku dollars doing it.
Yeah.
And, just work towards being as self-sufficient and independent as you possibly can.
Create a new
I
wave of
do have to
entrepreneurs.
ask you a question because I ask all candidates this question. What does a county supervisor do? Because you are running against there's an incumbent Deanna Alexander. She is the incumbent, so this is not an open primary. So first I want you to tell people,
Mhm.
what does a county supervisor do?
Yeah. So the county executive, Mr. Crowley, and his administration, they have a $1.2 billion budget every year from the state that they allocate to meet, to different departments and to make sure that people's needs are being met. And the county supervisors, 18 of them, in different areas of the county, of the county, we're basically amending Mr. Crowley's budget, basically. So that's the county supervisors to kind of like challenge that a little bit. And according to what the people in my district, the 18th district, according to what they need and what services are needed, and what issues that I see need more support, that's where I would step in and advocate to divert and reallocate funds there.
What is your number one of your well, first of all, if
Yeah.
you have any questions for, I'm gonna call him Marty Hagendorf. I like that. 414-444-5250. 414-444-5250. What is you've talked a lot about, the youth and stuff, but
Yeah.
What is for the stuff that you can control within your role?
Mhm.
What are you looking forward to trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
And I'm not putting you on the spot
Ken, I'm here to be on the spot.
right.
So, and that's a tough one, as an educator, as a public educator in the classrooms for so many years, like, and just working with youth and families on the streets, I'm constantly listening, learning, and teaching. So when I'm knocking on doors for this particular campaign, this election, it's just like constantly separating the powers, right? This is a city issue. This is a municipal issue. This is county jurisdiction. You're going to have to, but like, instead of, it's really hard for me because I don't want to just be that guy that just delegates to the alderperson, for this issue, and delegates to, to them over there, the bid or whatever. I want to talk about Northridge Mall. I want to talk about the small businesses that are struggling in my district. There's a lot that I want to do, but as a county supervisor, we definitely have to make sure that people know kind of what we do have our hands in, and that's primarily like public transportation, the county bus, or as we call it, the city bus, but it's the county bus lines, the parks and rec, the trails.
He's from the city, actually.
Parks, the sheriffs, city has the police, county has the sheriffs, mental health services, youth and family services, older adult services, aging services. Yeah.
We're going to take a break and we're going to come back and talk about your commitments. This is Be a Voice, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM, 414-444-5250.
Avery L. Goodrich of Goodrich Law. We appreciate you for what you have accomplished.
You're listening to Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice Radio. Follow us at BAWI Voice and learn more at wisconsinvoices.org.
Culture by Design is a premier event curation and engagement marketing firm that proudly announces its first ever Black History Month program. This celebration will feature a diverse array of curated film screenings, forums, and musical events honoring the significant contributions of Black Americans in
Voice Be a Voice, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. We have a caller on the line. Caller.
Yes. Hello, hello. This is Charlene Moore.
Oh, hello, Charlotte Moore. How are you?
I am well. I am well. Listen, I got in my car and I always have the radio station on, and I couldn't believe that I was hearing my alum just talk about the needs of, wanting to run. And I just wanted to call in to just say, number one, how proud of him I am.
Alum of what?
In addition, Urban Underground.
I was going to say.
You too.
You too? Come on.
I just know
we taking over.
How many people from Urban Underground alum? Let's see. I know they're either affiliated or was part of Urban Underground. My daughter was. Let's see. David Crowley, David Bowen was part of it.
Yeah.
Supreme, Darren Madison.
Yes.
There were
Ray Nitty, aka Ray Nitty. Yep.
There's so many people who have gone through Urban Underground, but we ain't talking about Urban Underground. We just saying that's a powerful group.
You guys had a whole Urban Underground alum show here, didn't you? Recently, I saw that. I saw a post about that.
Did. We did.
I would have pulled up for that.
Right, Marty. I want you to talk about like how my question is, how do you center, people and and community, to not walk into this role as a politician, but as an individual for the people? How do you plan to do that? Maybe that's the question.
Thank you, Charlotte.
Thank you so much. Oh man. I would say just being okay with the outcome, regardless of what happens after February 20th or April 2nd. I've been okay with that since I threw my hat in this race. And that has allowed me to really have fun with this whole campaign, but at the same time take it very seriously. And people see the seriousness because I love my people and I care about my community. But also just like, man, just kind of letting God drive this whole thing. And part of the initial goal by getting into this race was, not because this is what I've always aspired to do. It was just like, look, we got to wake up the electorate. We have to wake up this neighborhood. We need the Black vote out here in this community in the northwest side of Milwaukee, because a lot of stuff is going on behind the scenes, right in front of our faces, and it doesn't seem like we have enough leadership that's calling it out. A lot of suffering out here everywhere, but especially right here on this northwest side. So just kind of bringing my own authentic self and listening and developing and forming these relationships, and really like the issues and solutions that people have been talking to me about, not just at doors, but on the phone, in public, when we meet in public, at forums, at public input listening sessions, all these little things we've been doing since October, and even before in the summer. Like, these are all ideas that I want to introduce to the floor at the county board, and I want their names on it. I want them to be a part of this policy and resolution development.
So before we, I really want to read your commitments that you have on your, it's end death and abuse in our county jails now. Extend bus routes to more areas to ensure quality access to transportation. Create a community development fund for underserved and underdeveloped communities. Simplify the process of accessing funds so that it reaches the communities that are needed. And develop an assessment needed process on all projects funded by the county. These are what you're running on. Those are the commitments. So here's the thing: if you get through, and I'm just saying, if you get through, we'll be reaching out to you a little bit more, so you to come back on to talk about the issues. But this was just we want people to know who's on the ballot. We did reach out to your opponent, your other opponent. She did not reply. She did not. So we don't think that we are just playing favorites. We sent the email to everyone. Okay. Last but not least, thank you, John Marty, for being here. We have one last announcement to do, and we're gonna our Civics 101 class. Go ahead, Ty Jackson.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Miss Jackson.
This is Miss Jackson, Ty Jackson.
Auntie.
Thanks for having me. I am so excited. We're getting ready to do a Civics 101 class at Youth Pathways Incorporated on February 24th. Again, that's Youth Pathways Incorporated, and it's going to be held on the 24th of February. That's next week, Saturday. And the address is 421 West Keith Avenue. 421 West Keith Avenue at 2 o'clock. And what reason this is so important, and I thank Tamika for having me, because we have been doing this throughout the city. But this is so important because everybody asks, what does the alderman do? What does the county exec do? When are they elected? What should I be looking for? And if you come to this class, this presentation, you're going to learn a lot. And I tell you, they have been successful. And if you don't know, you're going to get that information. Plus, Wisconsin Voice is going to give you a lot more information. You can ask questions. So I'm encouraging everyone. Yes.
So I thank you, Miss Jackson. We are running out of time, but go on the website, wisconsinvoices.org, and you will be able to sign up. It's at Youthful Pathway 421 West Keith, but you can sign up and we'll give you all the information. Thank you for listening to Wisconsin Voices. Be a Voice, 860 AM, 106.5 FM.
W